And then, as I'm calling you, you please just occupy the seats one by one, okay? Second one is Mr. Dick Powells, President and Hans University of Applied Science, and which is the coordinator of the Alliance, please. Yeah, please, go. Don't be shy. I mean, here in Canary Island, in Spain, we are informal. And please feel free to applaud the guys. Come on. Third one will be the Polytechnic University of Bragança, Portugal, Professor Dr. Orlando Rodriguez, President. From Bremen University of Applied Science, Germany, Mr. Daniel Engelbrecht. I think I pronounced it correctly. Vice President for Financial Affairs, Human Resources, and Real Estate. I'm so sorry about my pronunciation of some of the names. I think this diversity of languages is one of the most interesting things and cultural richness of our alliance, but sometimes they are not so easy to pronounce. I will try. From Silesian University in Opava, Czechia, Mr. Michaela Weiss, Vice Rector for Study and Social Affairs. From the University of West Students, Dr. Jan Heliander, Vice Chancellor. From the University of Krakow, CUT, Poland, Professor Katarzyna Matras-Posztolek. From the University Alexander Moisiu of Durrës, Albania, Professor Dr. Kitsanela Sotirovsky. Did I say it okay? Good. Thank you very much. And last but not least, for the University of Franche-Comté, France, Professor Dr. Samir Jemeh, Vice President of International Affairs. So, welcome everyone. Before we start, I think I speak on behalf of everyone. If my first words are of sympathy and condolence to our colleagues of CUT on their untimely and unexpected passing away of the rector, and our heart is with us, guys. And on his memoir, we have included a small ribbon close to the heart of Star Alliance in the screen. Now, some practicalities. You will see this morning session will be divided in two parts. In the first one, the rectors will be addressing us, and also a representative of our Island Council in the part of innovation, and myself. And then after the coffee break, we will have a kind of plenary talk from the Vice Rector of the University of Granada. And she's the leader of one of the already founded, one of the first alliances, and they will be talking to us about challenges and benefits, and also what lies ahead for the Alliance of Universities in Europe. And then we will have, of course, our dear Rima that will talk us about what we have to do, as always, and some music that I will explain when we go there. Okay, so now let's start, and I would like to give the floor as acting rector of the University of La Laguna, Nestor Torres Darius. I have to make one short comment. Our rector, Professor Aguilar, is currently in the process of election, and because of the restriction imposed by the Electoral Commission, she cannot take part in any act. That's why Nestor will be acting on her behalf. Okay, Nestor, when you want.
Good morning to all of you, and welcome to the University of La Laguna. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the STARS European Union Alliance annual conference, which will be held at our university between today and tomorrow. The University of La Laguna is part of this alliance, along with 8 other European Centers of Higher Education. It is an honor and a pleasure for us to host this important event. In this conference, we have the presence of 8 chancellors and vice-chancellor of the partner universities, as well as the coordinator of the STARS European Union Alliance from the Hanse University of Applied Science. We also want to highlight here the presence of the Iceland Director of Innovation of the Cabildo de Tenerife, an institution that is always close to our university, and the Vice Rector of Internationalization of the University of Granada, who, as coordinator of the ARCUS Alliance, has already achieved the European seal. Surely, her presence among us will contribute to the development of the session. The objective of this conference is to know the current state of the START European Union Alliance, which aspires to obtain the European University Seal from the European Commission. With this seal, all the universities of the Alliance will improve their international status and will put us on the path of internationalization of our training and the recognition of our universities at the European level. During today's afternoon at the Guajara campus, those attending this conference will participate in simultaneous work sessions on topics of interest for the START University Alliance. Topics such as digital transformation, healthy aging, the energy transition, circular economy, entrepreneurship, the arts and creative industries, and living space. It is therefore about an intense and interesting program that will serve to share experience and knowledge and to advance in the achievements of the objective of the START European Union Alliance. I wish you all a fruitful conference, and I hope you enjoy your stay at our university in our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nestor. Now it's time for Mr. Dick Powells, President of Hansa University of Applied Science, which, as I told before, is the coordinator of Alliance. Please, Dick.
Yes, thank you very much, Ernesto. And first of all, thank you very much for having us here, organizing the second annual conference of the STARS EU Alliance, and having such a warm welcome here at your university. And we hope to enjoy our stay here today and tomorrow, and discussing a lot about the further development of our European University Alliance. This year, exactly 225 years ago, Hansa University was established. And it was established from the citizens of the city of Groningen. The citizens who had two aims to establish our university. First of all, they want to have free education available for everybody. Free education on what we in Holland call a higher level. A bachelor and a master, as we call it nowadays. And second, what they want to have what we now should call applied research, with a focus on what's happening in practice, in daily life, what businesses and people in society can use in the days of today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. In Groningen, we had already for 200 years then a research university, but the citizens of Groningen really want to have an applied university to bring that free education and the focus on having research in place that helps them in their daily life, in the life after the day of tomorrow. And that, I think that's still in the heart of our university. We wanted to have impact on the region we are working in, and at the same time also giving the possibility to all the people in the Netherlands to study and to do it freely, you could say. That we are free to enter and easily to access our university and to start your study there. But I think if I look to a European perspective, there is also another perspective on our university. And that brings also some special attention to part of our partnerships. Over 400 years ago, in 1600, we had to decide whether or not we would stay with the Spanish occupation at that time.
Sorry about that. But we already lived.
Yeah, we had to decide on that. There's also a funny story about it, but because we always have been trading people like the Dutch are still, and during that period of war, we traded with the Spanish people all the ammunition they would use to fight us again. So trading is always a very special thing to the Netherlands. But 400 years ago, we had to decide, the city of Groningen, whether or not to stay with the Spanish occupation or to join the other Dutch provinces to become more or less a united nation of Dutch people. 200 years later, just after we were established, the French occupied us. So there's also a linkage to the French, I think. The French occupied us, but after that occupation, we decided to step in what we now call nowadays, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. It started just around 1815, 200 years ago. And after German occupation, we also had that. And then I stopped with all the occupation. We are free now for a long time. After German occupation, the Netherlands was one of the first countries to start the European Union. And I think that's still very much in the heart of the Dutch people, that we really want to contribute to the European society, to the European culture, and to the European prosperity. And that's what we also see as a next step for our university. When we were looking at further development of having impact in our region, we said, well, we can't do that on our own. We really need to do that in a European collaboration, to learn from each other, to strengthen the European culture and also to strengthen the European economy. And that's why we started the initiative with some of the partners here and joining all the partners in the last 2 years here together in what we now call the Stars-EU Alliance. We are very happy as coordinator that there is a lot of energy coming from all of you in this program, in this alliance. We at least agreed to work together for 10 years. And after 10 years, we expect that it would be no discussion to proceed forever afterwards. But in the first 10 years, we really need to make a lot of effort, but also to gain a lot of energy out of our collaboration. And I hope that this day and the day of tomorrow will bring that energy to all of us, and that you will take it back to your institutions in your home countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dick Powers. We are sorry we haven't been the best of neighbors, I'm afraid. But you know that we have applied the old saying that if you cannot beat them, join them. Now from the Polytechnic University of Bragança, Portugal, Professor Orlando Rodrigues, President.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Ernest, and all the team of La Laguna University. Thank you very much for this warm organization of this meeting. It's very nice to be here together, pushing forward our alliance. So I'm the Polytechnic University of Portugal, public higher education institution in the north part of Portugal, as the majority of you well know. And we are very committed with regional impact, regional commitment of the university with our region, and with innovation. So we think that are very important strategic orientations of our university. But it is because that for us is very important, this alliance. We think that our Stars-EU Alliance will help us, will accelerate a lot our innovation process internally in our university. So we think that it's a very important instrument for accelerate innovation and transition in our institutions. And we did a lot of innovation, of transformation of our institution in the last times, with the commitment in this alliance and the cooperation with all the partners of the alliance. We are in a process. We are in a process of building our alliance, and we are now in a position that we can't go back with our alliance. We only can go forward and push forward our alliance. There are no way to go back in our alliance. And because of that, we think it's very important also that we put to see how we can be more efficacious in our organization. We need to put the theme of being more efficacious in our day life alliance. So innovation is very important. We did a lot of that, but we also need to put importance in being more efficacious in doing things together, and we think that is the position where we are now. So that's why it's so important to be together with this meeting, with these meetings that involve a lot of people of our organizations, that the things pass to our institutions and not only in the rectors and in the leaders of the institution. It's very important that all the people of our institutions know each other and collaborate each other. So it's that we think we are now in this position in the process of building our alliance. So it's why we think it's very important to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, on behalf of Bremen University of Applied Science, Germany, we have Mr. Daniel Engelbrecht, Vice President for Financial Affairs, Human Resources, and Real Estate. Please, Mr. Engelbrecht.
Good morning, and thank you very much for the invitation to this beautiful island, beautiful country, and great university. It's very impressive, and it's clearly showing that Tenefife is much more than vacation, which it is known for in the world. I was told to speak on what we are supposed to expect from this alliance for our university, but I think it's rather do not ask what the alliance can do for you, but what you can do for the alliance. So I think it's just all about the spirit. And I have gotten to know that there's a very, very strong spirit among all the partner universities. My colleagues have told me that there are regular conferences and meetings, and that we as all the universities that are part of the program have been growing much closer together. And I think that's the most important part of the whole thing, even or especially today, since many parts of the world are growing apart. We are all Europeans. When I go abroad, I'm also, of course, German, but if I'm asked, I'm a European, and I'm proud to be a European. So let's keep on with the spirit. Let's keep on being together and showing the rest of the world what we can do. We are in a very, very good position. We are many countries close together. It's just a short hop or longer flight, but in this case, but still worth it, a short hop to another country. And that's something we can build upon. So I'm very glad that I've heard and I've felt that the spirit is great amongst us and that it is growing at I'm very optimistic that we will be able to build upon that something great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Now, on behalf of the Silesian University in Opava, Czechia, Mr. Michaela Weiss, Vice Rector for Study and Social Affairs. Michaela.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm the next to express a big thank you for inviting us, for having us. And I would also like to thank for hosting such a wonderful event. After the several harder years, it's great to see people meeting personally again. because we see that the personal contact is absolutely irreplaceable in communication. And communication is a key element of all successful projects. So I'm very glad to see that all university partners are actively communicating with one another, their rising networks. Now, our institution is now undergoing a change of direction. Starting in March this year, we have a new university leadership, and we also have 2 new deans of our huge 2 big faculties, the Faculty of Business Administration and also the Faculty of Philosophy and Science. So we are now in a place where we are kind of re-evaluating where we are now, where we are heading, and we can discuss our future direction and also our position in the region and also within the STARS EU. So we see the kind of coming out of the university level, out of the classrooms as a necessity. So we need to bring universities outside, into the regions, into the communities. And this is one way and the only way how to do it. So the networks, the communications, and the groups, and to bring kind of universities out of the strictly academic space, which is very distant from the social and public needs. Okay, I'm a vice rector for social and study affairs, so that's why the social aspect is actually crucial for me. And we are very happy and grateful that we can be a part of this wonderful community with people who are engaged with regions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, on behalf of University of West students, Dr. Jan Teliander, Vice Chancellor.
Good morning and hello everyone, and thank you, Universidad La Laguna, and arranging this meeting. University West is situated on the western part of Sweden. We started 1990, and from the beginning, we focused on collaboration with the society around us, with companies, with the civic society, of course, and with the public health and different public organizations. It's very important for us to be a part of the society, to collaborate and be a part of the transition, especially in the region. And that's why I'm very happy to be here today. And it's very important for us to University West to contribute to this meeting and to this collaboration within our alliance. We are looking forward to work together with you. And I must say, I think it's almost like come together in some kind of family. I feel comfortable here. I'm glad to be here. I'm interested in what we are going to do and what efforts we can do together to build up and be a part of our regions. I must say it's a lot of threats to the society today. And we, universities, have a special role, I think, to stand up for values like diversity, inclusion, democracy, and freedom. And we must have this like a base when we now act in our societies and collaborate in our regions and collaborate together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, on behalf of the University of Krakow, Poland, Professor Katarzyna Matras-Poszczulek. Katarzyna.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for hosting us and for this invitation and for organization this great meeting. Unfortunately for us, for Krakow University of Technology, now is very painful and very sad time because in the last week we lost great rector of our university, Professor Andrzej Białkiewicz. He was actually excellent rector, excellent mentor. He always support from the beginning this STARS AU idea. Even because of this health problem, he could not join physically all the time, but he always support us mentally. I would like to ask you to stand up and to honor our rector, Professor Andrzej Białkiewicz, for 1 minute of silence. Thank you very much. So the situation is not easy for us, but what we would like to say that we are very happy that we are part of this consortium, especially now, when in the last year, Krakow University of Technology, it was done the evaluation, and according to the last result of the evaluation, the Krakow University of Technology is one of the top universities in Poland. And this success is mostly because of really very hard work of whole university staff, professors, student, PhD. But of course, without such mentor, without such president, we will never receive such great results. And in the framework of this consortium, STARS EU line, we would like to improve and develop together, because I think the cooperation, international, the networking is the crucial part of the development of in different level, scientific level, education level. We just together we can be hopefully in the future the star of the European universities. So I think the next months will be more difficult for us, but what is the most important, we want to be part of this STARS area, and we would like to be more active at the end to join with different kind of project by using Erasmus program and many, many more. So one more time, thank you for your support, and we are very happy that we're here with you, with our friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Katarzyna, and also thank you to the CUG delegation for the effort. I know this has been very difficult to come here, and we appreciate that you make it. Now, on behalf of the Alexander Moishi University of Durrës, Albania, Professor Dr. Keksanela Sotirovski. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We have met a lot of times online and we have exchanged a lot of emails, but it's really great to feel the energy of the stars here at the University of La Laguna. Thank you very much for the great organization. It's a great pleasure for me that in the position of director of the university, Alexander Moisiu, have the possibility to greet the opening ceremony of the conference. As new partners of the STARS EU Alliance, we are thrilled and confident in our long-term strategic cooperation for a European university. As you know, we are a small country, but we are a big university, and we are a university that is working every day to improve its academic achievement in the higher education area in Albania, and not only in Albania. Through our engagement in the Alliance and the many opportunities that lay ahead, we hope to bring to the Alliance the best example of cooperation, sharing of experiences, and building a safe and a solid path for the future by engaging our academic staff, administrative staff, students, and all the community that we work together. In committing to the Alliance, we also are eager to learn from your experiences, to grow through the shared expertise in different fields of common interest, and to advance professionally. In this regard, We think and are confident that through the alliance, we will fulfill a significant part of our commitments in the field of higher education in Albania, and not only. Such commitments may include joint scientific research through our academic staffs, projects, cooperations in teaching through increased staff and students' mobility, and also increase the academic offer in our institution through double degrees that we may develop through our cooperation. Thank you very much. I wish a fruitful conference and a great time in the island. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now from the University of Franche-Comté, France, Professor Dr. Samir Jameh.
Thank you, Luis. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today in person. First of all, I would like to thank all the La Laguna University staff for hosting us during today's and organizing this event here in La Laguna. This is a great city, a sunny city, and you have a wonderful university. It is Masha Voronov who should have spoken today in this place. Unfortunately, she stayed in Besançon to manage, as you know, the social crisis that is now affecting our French universities. She regrets this very much and has asked me to convey her warm greetings to you. Allow me to speak to you on her behalf and to present the University of Franche-Comté in a few words. I would then come to the questions you asked us about our objectives of this year. So to start and to present the University of Franche-Comté, the University of Franche-Comté is a 600-year-old multidisciplinary university, which lives with its time and adapts to the challenges of today and tomorrow through its research programs. Its training offer and its capacity to adapt to the needs of French and international learners and researchers in order to offer them the best learning and working conditions. This is why we have just been awarded to the HRS4R label. We are also an institution open to the world and to Europe, a member of the European University Association, which believes in the strengths of university networks such as ours to advance research. This is why the University of Franche-Comté has committed itself, along with many other universities in Europe, to reforming the evaluation of research by signing the COARA agreement. We are also a player in its territory, 6 university sites to meet the needs for skills where they are expressed and to advance research in interaction with the players in the territory. This is what we are doing, for example, with the hydrogen energy platform. So now what are the objectives for the University of Franche-Comté through STARS-EU in 2023? Notwithstanding its age, the University of Franche-Comté is a young partner in the Alliance. And I would like to begin by saying how pleased and how proud we are to have joined STARS-EU Alliance. The dynamism and ambition of our Alliance are remarkable. We have 3 objectives for the University of Franche-Comté through STARS-EU this year. Firstly, to get to know you even better in order to learn more about you, your teaching methods, your area of excellence, your relations with regional players, enabling you to prepare your students for the skills that will be needed tomorrow, and your research activity in relation to the future needs of company in your regions. The second objective for the University of Franche-Comté this year is to involve local players as much as possible in our activities, whether in the fields of continuing education, challenge-based learning, or through research collaborations. These relationships are essential to train for tomorrow's skills and produce the knowledge that Europe needs. Our third and final objective is to make you know our university even better. We will have the honor of hosting the annual STARS-EU conference at the University of Franche-Comté on 21st and 22nd of March next year. and we are aware of the importance of such an event for the Alliance, for all of us, for our territorial partners, and also for the university community. We will do our utmost to welcome you in the best conditions to work and to show you the richness of our university life, our fields of excellence, and the specificities that are ours. I am looking forward to it, and I hope that the strikes will be over next year. Together, we will contribute to the Europe of knowledge tomorrow, dear friends of STARS EU. I wish you and I wish us also a good work today and tomorrow at La Laguna University, and I hope to see many of you in Besançon at the University of Franche-Comté next year in March. Thank you.
No worries. There will be presentation anyhow. Thank you very much, Samir. Now I will kindly ask our colleagues, Rector, Vice Rector, President, Vice President, to take the seat in the front row so that they can more comfortably see the videos. So we are almost there for the first part of the morning, but before, I would like to call to the stage my dear friend, Arantzazu Diaz-Artel, who is the representative of our Island Council and responsible for innovation. Please, Arantxa.
Where to establish centers of innovation, research, R&D, and new technologies. Humans need to be able to live in pleasant environments, perform sports and leisure activities, and enjoy life. Businesses require significant tax benefits and security. A place located in the Atlantic and serving as a continental connection point between Africa, Europe, and America. It has a wind tunnel, 3D modeling workshops, a Tata supercomputer, massive sequencing laboratories, the world's first neutral submarine cable station, a wonderful spring weather, 365 days a year, with an average temperature of 22 degrees, many tax advantages for businesses, and much more. Tenerife, a Spanish island. We have to see it for ourselves. Tenerife, the place to be.
Good morning. First of all, I want to give you our warmest welcome to the island. I currently lead the innovation area of the Cabildo de Tenerife, which is the island government. And I would like, in a few minutes, to show you the goals on which we are focusing our efforts at the moment. Tenerife has resources of enormous value in terms of biodiversity and sustainability. From the economic and business perspective, we have a special tax regime throughout the European Union. Nor must we forget the human, legal, political, or educational factors that are also favorable in our territory. To all this, we must add the excellent scientific, technological, digital, and communication infrastructures that the island has, and that make the innovative potential of Tenerife exceptional. Moreover, Tenerife can lead internationally several economic areas based on knowledge and innovation, such as smart tourism, creative industries, or the blue economy, among others. In this context, the Cabildo Insular, aware that innovation is key to the development and also the economic and social sustainability of the island, has made a strategy to catalyze and promote innovation. This is the Innovation Master Plan of the island of Tenerife, in Spanish, Plan Director de Innovación, or PDI. The PDI defines, details, and monitors the joint and shared innovation strategy of the entire island. It is a tool that promotes innovation with the aim of turning Tenerife into a pole of excellence and international reference in R&D and I. The development of the PDI has followed a European methodology based on two complementary aspects. On the one hand, the internal aspect, by carrying out an initial diagnosis of the situation in the island, and on the other hand, the external aspect through the identification of the technology sectors and activities that drive innovation at the international level. Private companies, research centers, universities, associations, and foundations, and also the public administration itself have participated in the drafting of the PDI through interviews, questionnaires, workshops, and working groups. The priority sectors we found are sustainability, mobility and energy, smart tourism, creative industries, gaming and audiovisual productions mainly, blue economy, medical sciences, and health. And we also identified 6 axes: the improvement of infrastructures, the enhancement of talent, the reformulation of the transfer model, the promotion of entrepreneurship and competitiveness, the support for internationalization, and the development of leadership capacity. The first axis is infrastructures. First of all, the island has a very good connectivity, starting by optic fiber surrounding the entire perimeter, until infrastructures like DALIX, inside which we have the TEIDI and the ANAGA supercomputers. Secondly, we also have spaces within the Science and Technology Park of Tenerife, PCTT, that we have made available to both private companies and public institutions to house all kinds of researchers related on technology and innovation. Now we focus on the second axis. This is talent. Talent and its impulse and development is the essential axis to be able to connect the training offered with the demand of the market. It is very important to design and execute actions aimed at attracting talent and also to retaining it, as well as the training of talent from key and relevant sectors in line with what is demanded with the business ecosystem. In this sense, the PDI makes an important effort to enhance talent around 4 specific blocks: Talentum Future, Talentum Project, Talentum Business, and Talentum Research, depending on the population it is targeting. Talentum Future, aimed at the youngest, that is aged between 4 and 18 years, always in order to promote in them the interest in STEM subjects linked to science and technology, which are the most demanded by companies today and that will be even more requested in the future. Talentum Project. It is about offering conferences, forums, demos, courses, and presentations that are made available to profiles of different types with specific programs aimed at solving challenges and accelerating accompaniment while projects are launched. Talentum Business. It emphasizes on companies and the spaces that Tenerife can offer them. Its objective is to boost the innovative ecosystem of the island, as well as to promote the consolidation of companies and the attraction of local, national, and international investment in startups and entrepreneurial projects. Talentum Research, with a special focus on R&D and I. In this case, I would like to delve a little into the 3 main programs that it includes. Talentum Transfer, in collaboration with the University of La Laguna, to promote the transfer of knowledge between academia and companies so that researchers can carry out part of the projects in the companies themselves, focusing them on their own problems to find real and appropriate solutions aimed at the development of products that can impact in the market. Talentum Applied Research, supporting certain high potential research projects carried out at the university itself through its research institutes in order to, and in other centers such as the IAC, Astrophysics Institute of the Canary Islands, the IPNA, Institute of Natural Products and Agrobiology, that respond to sectors such as those linked to health, energy, data science, astrophysics, blue economy, etc. And at last, Talentum Expert. It consists of a specific qualification based on the existing demand in technological sectors in which the University of La Laguna and the PCTT will collaborate for the implementation of a university expert degree in innovation and technological entrepreneurship from the next academic course. We go now with the third axis that is transfer. One of the aspects to consider is that the public sector is the one who makes the greatest investment efforts in R&D and I. And based on this reflection, this approach is born to rethink the transfer in such a way that it has a real impact on the island economy, that research becomes generators of wealth and also employment in the island. We signed agreements for the next 5 years with the University of La Laguna and with other research centers that guarantee that their research will have a durability in time to ensure the best results. We have a commitment to invest almost 20 million euros in this purpose. In addition, the Cabildo will participate in patents and industrial property, reaching a profitability up to the limit of what is financed, allowing the sustainability of a system of public financing that will reinvest these benefits back into the system again. One of the most important tools of our strategy is the technology transfer table. This is a specialized mechanism in collaboration with projects between science and research and company and market. For this, research must contemplate the development of specific solutions that answer the real needs of people and also for business, defining and developing innovation opportunities with impact on the market. We also have made a catalog with the island scientific and technological infrastructures to promote public use, both by the private and other public sectors. Let's go now with the fourth axis, entrepreneurship. To promote entrepreneurial culture and innovation on the island, we have a technical support office for entrepreneurs and for startups. For this reason, we are working with an express advice system within the financing model in different matters. First, to advise about the intellectual and industrial property registry of patents in order to protect these projects that are financed by the funds of the Cabildo. And second, to advise about commercialization, because it is very important to exploit the innovation of these prototypes. The fifth axis is internationalization. Another of the main lines within the PDI is to facilitate, advise, and carry out our work to the internationalization of the insular innovative ecosystem, to work globally from Tenerife to the world. The last one, leadership capacity. This is the sixth axis. To sum up, from Cabildo de Tenerife, we are very seriously involved in the conversion of Tenerife into an innovation and technology hub, maintaining, of course, and with a paramount importance, its sustainability, with the effort to complement the main industry of the island, that is tourism. Finally, in accordance with the START EU program, and taking into account the DIGs, our innovation strategy for the island, or PDI, fully coincides with the following related areas: digital transformation, entrepreneurship and innovation, energy transition, and circular economy. That is why we make ourselves available from the Cabildo de Tenerife to work in collaboration with the representatives of the universities present here in any project that can result in mutual benefit. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Arantxa. This was perfect. And Arantxa will be with us this evening and alongside one of the authors of the PID, so that any of the universities can take the opportunity to talk to them and look for opportunities for collaborations. Before I make my intervention, I would like to make a small addition to the program and ask again to the stage to Katarzyna, so that he can make a small, brief semblance of the late rector. Please, Katarzyna.
Okay, because I have presentation prepared before, so maybe I will only like to show you the photo of our president who just passed away last week, and yesterday was the funeral officially. So once more time, thank you very much for this, that you remember of us, and yeah, for this great honor. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, before the second coffee break, it's my turn for make a brief intervention. First of all, I have to say it's a big pleasure to have you here. It's been a long anticipated meeting, and we have been working with you for more than 1 year already. It's been a very interesting time. We have learned a lot, and I'm very pleased that despite the different cultures, different universities, we have been able to make quite a big a very, I think, exciting group of work and hardworking people. And we already are very confident that we will be able to get the funding from the university, from the European Commissions. And from June on, we will be fully established, fully funded alliance. But in the meanwhile, we are working together anyway. So, and I will give you kind of a small brief, not so formal, because I think it's we already have enough formalities today. So I'll have to be a little bit informal. Sorry about that. Presentation: why ULL is now reaching for the stars. Small history. We are kind of an old university. It's the oldest higher education center in the Canary Islands and also in the Macaronesia. It's more than 229 years of history. The decree for its foundation was signed by the King Charles IV. He's a very stern guy, but luckily he was in favor of education, especially higher education. And so they said, okay, let's these guys there in the islands, so much in the south, to have a university. It was signed in Madrid, March 11th, 1792. Since then, we have gone through different names and stages, and we obtained the current name in 1913 and the current structure in 1927. So in 4 year times, we'll have the first century, 100 years of the current state. I know you already know a lot about ourselves, but I would like to put a small video about University of La Laguna and why it makes sense to have us with you.
There is a place in the middle of the ocean where your dreams come true. Okay, we don't want to forget about this, but do you know about the University of La Laguna? 48 undergraduate degrees, 36 postgraduate degrees with modern facilities in the middle of a city as bustling as it is welcoming, and a World Heritage Site. The Universidad de La Laguna is a leader in research and innovation, with 52 doctoral programs and 334 research teams allowing you to pursue your projects in the social, legal or health sciences, humanities, engineering, art, education or science in general. The unique enclave of the Canary Islands, functioning as an intercontinental platform, will magnify the impact of your projects on a global scale. A place to define your lifestyle, with a whole range of services right at your fingertips. Perfect, practice, or learn a language spoken by nearly 600 million Spanish speakers. More than 200 years of pedagogical history, a truly unique setting, a milestone in your education. Fall in love. Universidad de La Laguna.
Thank you. So this is Alteide. We have going to see a little bit about this big guy all the time. Here in Tenerife, we used to call him Father, the Padre Teide. Why? As you possibly know, it's the highest peak in Spain, which is quite an achievement for a small island, because, you know, in Spain we have also the Pyrenees that we share with our friends in France. But still, it's the highest peak. It's almost 3,800 meters, and we will be visiting it tomorrow. As you see, it's impressive, it's massive, and you can see it from almost everywhere, not only from Tenerife, but from the other islands as well. It's kind of watching over, or perching over, towering over the whole archipelago. But as you see, what you see of the guy? What can you see about him? That he's a little bit lonely, you see, because there's no other mountains around. Lately, a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to visit Zurich, quite expensive city, by the way. But on my landing there, I saw this one, which is a very beautiful picture. You know what is this? Possibly people from Germany, they know. I know it's just a little bit on the south, it's Bavaria. Sorry about that. It's not Bremen, but you know what is it, right? It's the Alps. What can you see in the Alps? They are also very nice mountains, but they are together. Together, they are stronger. So our poor Teide is there alone, and the Alps are there. What can we do? thanks to the nice work, wonderful work of our international rectorship and especially Lydia, we have managed to do quite a few things. We are a bridge over the Atlantic, or at least that's why I would like to consider us ourselves, joining the 3 continents. We have the Erasmus program for Europeans. That's why we are here today. We also have the Campus America, joining with our colleagues from the South America especially, but also North American universities. We share with South America, of course, not only a language, but a lot of culture and history and heritage. And we also have Campus Africa, which is carried out biannually here. And this year was dedicated to climate change, global health, and sustainable development from an Atlantic perspective. You see, we are here, and this is Africa, Europe, and America. Okay, is this enough? No, because we want to get more. And what we do when we want more, what we do here, we look at the stars. Why? Because we have a very nice sky. You possibly know that here in Canary Island, we have one of the best astrophysics observatories and astrophysics institutes in the world. This is the Institute of Astrophysics in Canary Islands. And because of the clearness of the sky, we have the opportunity, despite being very far away, we can clearly see the stars. Okay? And then we decide, as the big panda tell, which is more important, the journey of the destination. And we decide, no, the important is the company, right? And there is one very famous saying, proverb, African proverb, which is also very popular here. And they say that if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So what can we say? Obrigado, tak, bedankt, merci, d'accueillir, j'accueille. This is difficult. Fale minderit. I hope I said that. Danke for letting us be part of Stars U. Thank you very much. And now, as promised, it's time for a second coffee break, and I'll see you back at, please be punctual, 11:30. Thank you.
Hola, hola, ¿me oye?
Hello everyone. We have to start. Take a seat, please. Okay, many of you don't know me still. My name is Lydia, Vice Chancellor of Internationalization and Cooperation from the University of La Laguna. And welcome to my university one more time. Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce you to my colleague Vice Chancellor from the University of Granada in the south of Spain, Professor Dorothy Kelly. Kelly has been a pioneer in the field of internationalization and cooperation in education in Spain, and she's leading, as you know, one of the alliance proposed in the field call for European University, Alliance. She will be speaking about this European initiative and about her experience in coordinating for the last 4 years ARQU's Alliance. I am sure that her experience will be a good opportunity for all of us to learn more about this project. Thank you very much, Dorothy, for being with us today. I want to give Dorothy a warm welcome. And please, Dorothy, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Lydia, and thank you, colleagues in the room. Can I first of all thank Lydia and the University of La Laguna for inviting me to participate as Vice Rector for Internationalization at the University of Granada and coordinator of the ARCUS European University Alliance. In your event, it's always a very great pleasure to share our experience with other alliances. And can I also say how very sorry I am that I'm not able actually to be with you in Tenerife, in Laguna. It's always a very great pleasure for me to visit Laguna, but I'm afraid on this occasion it has simply been impossible, amongst other reasons, because we are about to hold our own ARCUS annual conference from next Monday in Graz, in Austria. So apologies for not being with you, but I hope that through the presentation I will be able to present a little bit of our experience, and I hope that experience will be helpful for you. I'm going to, sorry, excuse me, I'm just going to start the presentation. Is that okay? I hope everyone can see the presentation. And I will continue. I don't think there's any great need for me to tell you about the background to this initiative, in that you are also working in the initiative, and I understand from Lydia that you've been working in it for some time. So perhaps simply to set the scene, we all remember, I believe, that the initiative was born in September 2017 on the occasion of a speech given by President Macron of France at the Sorbonne, where he put forward the idea of setting up European universities as drivers of educational innovation and the quest for excellence, as well as promoting, of course, truly European educational programs and promoting European values and identity. The initiative was taken up, and I think this is pretty obvious that there was considerable political interest in the initiative. It was taken up by the European Commission almost immediately, and in November 2017 appeared in a European Commission communication, confirmed at the Gothenburg Council meeting in December. And this has led, of course, to a series of calls. The entire initiative has been built into the European Strategy for Universities, which I will move on to shortly. But the initiative seeks structural, systemic, and sustainable impact in the transformation of the European university system through a deep level of inter-university cooperation and a joint long-term strategy for each alliance. This in the field of education, which has been the major driver of the initiative so far, something I will come back to a little bit later on in my talk, through flexible and personalized European curricula, through innovative pedagogies, in particular looking at transdisciplinary and challenge-based approaches, embedded and seamless student and staff mobility for all, and the development of forward-looking skills. These are some of the goals which I will not stop to look at, but I think that perhaps we could pick up just on a couple. One that I would like to pick up on is the idea of having students at the center of our activity. Another I would like to pick up on, because we haven't mentioned it so far, is that the alliances should act as anchors of knowledge, innovation, and entrepreneurship in their regions and cities, and I think importantly act as a catalyzer for links amongst our local ecosystems. I won't go into, as I said, any more detail on that right now, but move on rather to the current state of play. I imagine, again, you're very aware of this because I understand you have an application pending evaluation. So, as you know, in all of the surveys carried out, the European Universities Initiative has been seen as a driver for the elimination of obstacles for more effective transnational cooperation. And the European Commission is investing a considerable amount of its budget in this initiative, which I think is a very, very clear signal that this is an important initiative and something which the European Commission believes strongly in. It has been given continued funding in the new 21-27 programme, and the Commission is already discussing how the initiative is to be funded from 28 on, and I'll perhaps also come back to that a little bit later on. There are currently 44 funded European University Alliances. There are also a series of alliances, I believe amongst them your own, who have been working together almost since the beginning of this initiative, but have not been fortunate enough to receive funding. And I think it is extremely important, and this is a policy position of ARCUS, that the initiative should be as inclusive as possible, and that it is very, very important that the Commission and our national authorities recognise the work that is going on in all alliances and not just the 44 funded alliances, because that is to link the quality of work plans, the quality of applications, and the quality of the alliances simply to a budget. And really, if what we're looking for is systemic and structural change, then clearly we need the whole system, or as much of the system as possible, on board. So currently in funded alliances, there are 340 universities in 31 countries with well over 1,000 associate partners. And that is, it's an important figure. And as I said, the real figure is bigger. The real figure is bigger because there are other alliances working. The 23 call, as you are very aware, has closed. It closed at the end of January, and we're awaiting results for June. And next year, the last of the planned calls is only for new alliances, with the idea of reaching 60 alliances by the year 24. I think it is very important for us to see just how the European Universities Initiative is aligned with the European Strategy for Universities. The European Strategy for Universities has these four major goals: the strengthening of the European dimension in higher education and research, the consolidation of universities as lighthouses of the European way of life, the empowerment of universities as key actors of change in the twin green and digital transitions, and the reinforcement of universities as drivers of Europe's global role and leadership. I think as universities, it is very, very important for us to see that the European Commission is very aware and is promoting the idea of universities as active and influential actors on the global scene, on the policy scene, in the development of our societies for the future. And I think this is something that we as universities need to make good use of in all the forums that we're working in, at regional, at local, at regional, at national, and of course at European level. And this is condensed into four major flagships. The first being to expand to 60 universities. I think that's good news for the inclusion of the initiative, totaling that 1.1 billion euro in the Erasmus Plus program 21-27. And then, of course, using the alliances as a test bed for the European Student Card initiative. As you're all aware, this is not a card, it's not a student matriculation card in the traditional sense of the word, but rather it is a digital student record, a learning record, which facilitates mobility of all kinds, transnational, transsectoral, and so on. A complex initiative, but I think a very, very important initiative building on a lot of the Bologna tools. And then the two most directly linked to the European University Alliances. The first is a legal status for alliances. This is linked to several issues, and it is one of the challenges that the alliances are facing. This is linked to the fact, of course, that the European Commission has no actual competence in education. Education is a national competence under the European treaties. And therefore, the Commission cannot establish, for example, European degrees, cannot take policy decisions. They can set up policy incentives. And that is indeed what they are doing with this whole initiative and with the European strategy for universities. But in the current state of affairs, alliances cannot currently issue degrees. They have to be national degrees. And also, it is particularly complicated for alliances to hire staff, to enter into contracts, unless we have a legal entity. It always has to go through one of the universities. So several alliances have already set up legal entities, but of course none of the current figures, none of the current possible legal entities actually fit in with what we want to do as universities. And this is why this is one of the major issues that the European Commission wants to address and is currently addressing in a series of pilot projects which are studying how to improve. The other major area is that of the European degree label. The European Commission would have the ambition to establish the possibility of actual European degrees being issued for joint programs. This, for the moment, is on hold. And the proposal that is on the table is to move forward in a step-by-step fashion, starting with a European degree label. And currently there are 6 pilot projects underway. Arcus and the University of Granada are leading one of these pilot projects to look at just what that label would look like, what should be the criteria for the issuing of that label, and what would be the impact of that label on the European university system. And then I'm just going to move on to Arcus itself and attempt to give you a few technical, excuse me, I'm afraid it's hay fever time here in Granada, and we all have coughs and sneezes. The Arcus Alliance is currently formed by 9 members in 9 different European countries. The 6 original members are Lyon in France, Padua in Italy, Graz in Austria, Leipzig in Germany, and Vilnius in Lithuania, together with Granada as coordinator. During our first phase, we had a partner in Norway who decided a year and a half ago not to continue, not to renew in this current phase of funding. And our enlargement policy has led us to incorporate 3 new members: the University of Minho in the north of Portugal, the University of Wrocław in Poland, and Maynooth University in Ireland. And we share a common profile. 9 consolidated, perhaps rather than long-standing, because we actually go from the University of Padua with over 800 years of existence to Maynooth University in its current status, 25 years of existence, but built on a 200-year-old institution prior to its current status. We are comprehensive research universities, and we share extensive experience in joint projects and common profile as internationalized institutions with, and this is important, deep regional engagement. I said before about our role in linking our ecosystems and so on. This is one of the central features of ARCUS. Another central feature of ARCUS is our promotion of European values and inclusion. And as such, we have taken a very strong position right from the very beginning in support of our Ukrainian colleagues. And we have incorporated the National University of Kiev Mohila Academy as an associate partner into our alliance earlier this year, with a view not only to supporting them through this very, very difficult current emergency situation, but also to looking for medium and long-term support for the reconstruction of the Ukrainian university system and avoiding its decapitalization due to the invasion. As you see, a pretty good geographical spread, a pretty good language and cultural spread across Europe. And we use the name, I see Lydia was pronouncing it more as initials. It's actually Arcus comes from the Latin Arcus with a C, or Arcus, Q-U-U-S, meaning arch, bridge. So it's a construction metaphor. And we use the construction metaphor a lot in trying to explain what we're trying to do. And basically, we see what we're trying to do as a building process. We spent the first 3-4 years laying the foundations on which we currently, during phase 2, are building structures which will then allow us to look a little bit like this very utopian picture in phase 3, rolling out from 2026 on as a truly European institution with all these bridges you can see, forward-looking, sustainable, and digital. This is our mission statement. Our vision is of a forward-looking, open, integrated, and research-driven university, European university, building transformative excellence with and for all. So, as I said, inclusion is key to how we see our alliance. Our mission covers the 3 major missions of universities, so educating critical and socially engaged European citizens equipped for lifelong learning, leaving no one behind. Generating the research mission, generating excellent, open, challenge-driven, innovative and reflective knowledge. Our societal commitment, our societal engagement, acting as a committed multi-level societal and global player. And finally, as an alliance, and as a European University Alliance, a specific mission, which is not necessarily a university mission, that is bringing down barriers to effective cooperation. We do this based on the values. I said European values are central to what we do in ARCUS, the core European values of democracy, the core university values as expressed in the Magna Charta, and an understanding of universities as a unique institution, open places of freedom, pluralism, and democratic participation. Beyond the understanding of universities as a public good where we work together better, we are stronger together than individually. Our major goals, I'm not going to go into detail here because I think it's probably of interest to you for us to move on to what have we done and what have been the challenges. So this is briefly what we're working in. We are working in, as you can see, the major missions of education through joint study programs, micro-credentials, open learning mobility, lifelong learning. Particular emphasis given to talent development in the doctoral cycle and early postdocs. From day one, we have given particular attention to early stage researchers as a bridge towards our research and innovation, where we have been working a lot on policy issues of research, such as research assessment, open science, but we've also been looking to promote our joint research action plan and to promote actual research cooperation, not just policy level cooperation amongst our academics. And all of this, of course, with a view to societal engagement, both through our education and through our research missions, knowledge transfer, work integrated learning, entrepreneurship, with the three basic enablers: inclusion and diversity, plurilingualism and intercultural competence, which of course is linked to diversity and inclusion, open mobility and openness, transparency in general. And in order to do that, we have a series of tools, digital tools, financial tools, strategic tools, which we attempt to use together. And across the board here, the Rectors' Council of the Alliance decided to establish three major, very interdisciplinary and very broad thematic areas as priorities. The first, artificial intelligence and digital transformation. The second, climate change, climate risk, and environmental sustainability, Green Deal. And thirdly, European heritage and identity, not in isolation, but linked to Europe as a global actor. In order to do all of this, and again, as I said, I don't think in half an hour I can really go into a great deal of detail, but I think just briefly to look at our structure. You have probably seen the EUA report on alliance structures. Ours is described there, and it's, I think, relatively similar to others. Can I say perhaps, and this is important, I think, as experience, the structure has been a moving structure in that we have had to add and eliminate particular areas, particular bodies, as we have seen what we really needed and as we advanced in our alliance work. So, for example, initially we did not have a Vice Rectors Council, but the need for this senior management involvement on an agile and operational basis, we detected quite early. We saw there was quite a gap between the very, very senior strategic decision-making in the Rectors' Council and the much more operational decision-making at steering committee level. Quite often the steering committee felt unable to take decisions, and we couldn't possibly have our rectors meeting every single month in order to take high-level strategic decisions. So we set up a Vice Rectors' Council level. And in this new phase, we have set up three overarching action lines based on the three major missions of the university: education, research and innovation, and societal engagement, to coordinate the various action plans that we have underway. We have an international advisory board, which gives us external advice and support, and we have a student council. And I will perhaps stop here briefly just to say that from the very beginning, Arcus was very, very determined that students should be key players in the alliance. And therefore, apart from having a student council as a separate body, we made sure that the student council also had a voice and votes in the steering committee, and they are also in constant contact with the Vice Rectors' Council and the Rectors' Council. We feel this is important, and it has worked well. Then we have some other structures like the Arcus Academy, which is our learning Coordination and Accreditation Center, responsible for certifying any learning which happens within the Alliance, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. We have the Coordination Team and Secretariat in Granada, but we also at each university have local teams, including, of course, the University of Granada. And that is perhaps something that I will also mention, and that is the double role of a university as a coordinator and as a partner institution, something that needs to be thought through very, very carefully in the work plans. This is our current work plan for Erasmus Plus, which reflects a lot of what you saw on the previous slide of what we're doing. This is our current work plan under Horizon 2020, where we are working on the different transformation modules that were suggested to us by the SWOT's call. In particular, for us internally, the really important issues are developing a common research agenda, strengthening our human capital, both for actually carrying out research and for supporting research, open science, citizen science, transfer, and joint structures. So, current research work plan. These are some of the highlights that we have given priority to over the first 4 years and continue to give priority to. The first is staff development for the transformed university of the future. So, for example, pedagogical training for teaching staff, for example, staff development and professionalization for technical and administrative staff. We have done a lot of both online and face-to-face training seminars and sessions of various different kinds. We've been fostering joint research with a focus, as I said, on our PhD candidates and early stage researchers. We've brought our research groups together, and we have attempted to promote greater synergy between our research activities and our education activities by promoting challenge-based learning. And this we have done very particularly through ARCUS winter and summer schools based on a challenge-based approach, with credits recognized at all of our universities, where students from all the universities have come together with researchers and with local stakeholders to work on real societal problems. Those have been a very, very great success and have been certified as micro-credentials at this stage where micro-credentials are still being defined technically in many countries, but this is clearly a pilot, and we hope also to influence how micro-credential certification is introduced in our various national systems. We have also promoted full degree cycle joint programs with 2 full joint master's programs about to start, one in cybersecurity and one in European studies, a third currently as a multiple degree program, but about to become also a joint program. And in our new work plan, we will be undertaking joint bachelor's and doctoral programs as well as developing, as I said, our joint micro-credentials. Open mobility, the very first thing we did was to sign an open mobility agreement, thus eliminating a lot of the bureaucracy of discipline level bilateral agreements for student and staff mobility. And this has proved to be very, very successful and facilitates mobility across the Alliance to a great extent. We have our joint policy approach with joint policy papers on open science, on the recognition of formal and final learning, on language policy, and other issues linked to inclusion, equality, and diversity. And shared resources, we have an initial database on research infrastructure. We have shared our ECTS catalogs, our virtual courses, our MOOCs, our language training offer, and we have also launched a program to share our incubators where young junior startups and spin-offs can spend time at an incubator at another university. And just to conclude, I'm not sure how I'm going for time. Oops, I need to move back here. A few words, I think necessary words on challenges. And I think it is very, very true that when this initiative was launched, we all saw it was ambitious, but until we actually started to work, we were not necessarily aware of the enormous challenges and the depth of some of the challenges that we would be facing. Some were predictable, and I think the first set of challenges was predictable. So we have different legal and structural constraints. There are huge differences in legislation and regulations from one country to another, from one institution to another. Joint academic programs are notoriously difficult to set up in many national contexts. We were all aware of that. And we were also aware that we had a legal entity that would immediately solve all those problems for us. So those I think were foreseeable. They are still there. I think it is true that the initiative, the European University Initiative, has acted as a driver for some national authorities to modify their regulations. We have certainly moved forward, but there is still a great deal to be done. There are also, however, political issues here, and I'm not sure that we were entirely aware of just how much political pressure we were going to have. When we wrote the initiative thinking of the alliance as an alliance that was going to work internally and that was going to share its results. But the pressure coming from the European Commission and also coming at national level was something that we perhaps were not entirely prepared for, which we have become used to. But there is a huge multi-layer structure now around this initiative. So we have groups of alliances, we have national groups of alliances, we have European informal groups of alliances, we have meetings with national authorities, we have meetings with quality assurance agencies, we have meetings with the European Commission. We have constant pressure to fill in surveys and participate in consultations and reports from the European Parliament and so on and so forth. So this is something that I think was not written into our original work plans and which takes up an awful lot of time for the coordination teams in particular. A huge issue which we all have on the table is that of sustainable funding. One of the huge problems, and you saw, I said this is our education work plan, this is our research work plan, we have a digital work plan, we have a global dimension work plan, we have an internal development strategy. A lot of this is funded from many, many different streams. So we have our basic Erasmus funding, we have Horizon funding, we have national funding, or not, depending on how lucky we are with our national authorities. Some of us have regional funding. There is institutional loan funding. But all of this comes, of course, with very often a very project-based approach based on deliverables, on very, very specific work plans which are not open and which do not fully allow us to address the very programmatic approach which we really need. So this is a huge issue. It's not just will we continue to have funding, but what form will that funding take and how much autonomy will we have as an alliance to use the funding in different ways. There is also an issue which it is extremely important for us to bear in mind, and that is the need for our individual university strategies to be clearly aligned with the alliance strategy, for the alliance strategy to be clearly aligned with the individual institutional strategies. And this is particularly important at moments of critical internal risk, such as changes in institutional government of our universities. This has been identified by all the rectors of the alliances in their recent meeting with the Commissioner in Brussels in the month of January, something we very definitely need to have on board. A further one, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but a further element that I think we really need to bear in mind is the embedding of the research dimension. The fact that major funding is coming from the Erasmus Plus program imposes a certain prioritization of the education dimension and somehow relegates the research dimension. And the fact that the funding streams coming from Horizon and other research funding streams have not been as clear, have not been as clearly dedicated to European alliances, and also have been very limited in their approach because they've been very policy approach oriented, has made it, I think, difficult for us to fully develop the research dimension of the alliances, and that for research-intensive universities is very important. Internal challenges, ensuring engagement. This is a pioneering initiative, and sometimes it's hard to explain. It was particularly hard to explain at the beginning when we had no concrete results to show. It was all, we want to do this, but we don't have any results to show yet. That, I think, is becoming easier since after 4 years we have quite a lot of results to show. But it is still the case that we need to ensure better engagement of students, of academics, and of professional staff. And to do that, we need incentives. Incentives which it's not always easy to fit into our institutional strategies and regulations. Another expected challenge was that of our cultural diversity. So it's expected in theory, but sometimes when it actually comes down to day-to-day working, we each have different management and administrative cultures. We have different institutional cultures. We even have very different organizations of the working day and of the working week and of the working year. And I think we did work out, and of course this is not a new challenge to internationalization, but if we only had meetings, if we only had events on those working days which we all share, then we would have a very, very limited calendar. So these are all issues that are clearly still there and need to be addressed. And I'm going to jump to critical external risks. When we wrote our application in 2018 and early 2019, no one, except perhaps a few public health experts, could possibly have imagined that we were going to have the COVID-19 pandemic and that we were going to have to live through very, very tough and quite prolonged periods of confinement, of lockdown. We were not able to implement all of the mobility, all of the face-to-face activities which we had planned. We had to move into online and digital mode, virtual and remote working, at a time when each of our universities was also having to do this in emergency mode, and that was very, very, very difficult. But I think it was also a very interesting learning experience because it proved to us that there were a lot of things we could do remotely and virtually, which we had not planned to do, and we had already written in a lot of virtual exchange, and a lot of our admin and our management meetings were already remote. But that, I think, has been an important element, an important learning element. Of course, then when we were coming out of the pandemic, we were suddenly confronted with the invasion of Ukraine, which then has complicated the economic situation for many of our universities and many of our countries, but more importantly, I think, has brought to our attention the fragility and the precariousness of the situation of peace and prosperity, which we take for granted on our continent. And finally, the critical internal risks, which I think I've more or less covered in other sections, changes in institutional government, changes in the need for there to be continued support and commitment to a long-term initiative of this kind beyond individual management teams, the need to align institutional strategies with the alliance strategy, and to ensure engagement. So I think those very, very briefly, and when Lydia said you have 30 minutes, I'll try. It's not easy. It's not easy to present this initiative in 30 minutes, but I hope that I have managed to do so. And of course, I will be very, very pleased. I don't know if right now, during this session, or perhaps later, to answer any questions, consultations, and to help in any way I can. For Arcos, it is important to be in contact with alliances and to share. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. We have no time and the sound is not so good. That's why we are not going to ask any question. Are you right? Okay. Dorothy, we keep in touch. Thank you one more time, and I hope we reach our objective with this project.
I wish you all the very, very best in your application and for your future work. Thank you very much.
Okay. See you, Dorothy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. We see we have a lot of things ahead. And you see, Rima, 15 working packages. It's not, I mean, this is terrible. Come on. We only have like 8. We have to work harder. Anyway, so now the floor is yours. And we will be very happy to know what lies ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernesto. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, participants, it is not only my pleasure, but it's a great honor to present today STARS-EU Strategic Alliance for Regional Transition. All results, achievements, what you did achieve, we all achieved together. And for those who didn't participate yet, we are inviting very kindly join us on the way to the stars. And we always have to look to the stars, as Ernesto gave us the direction. So thank you very much, Ernesto, Lydia, and all team receiving us here today, accepting us Alliance meeting. And I believe that today, tomorrow, we'll have very interesting and hard discussions, agreements, disagreements, and we'll find new ideas and new ways to move forward, to develop our alliance. So I just want to share with you our journey. Yes, as our President Dick Powell already pointed out, we are working together nearly for 4 years. This is really first time I see the consortium alliance which working for such a long time without any financing resources from outside, only putting their own resources. It's a great respect, and I think it's the biggest achievement what we can achieve. Because very often we have project, people coming together, working for 3 years, project is over, and we're saying goodbye, and that's all. So this is really not a project. I always emphasize it. It's not a project. It is initiative. It is a program which consists many projects, many research ideas, many developments, and we like an umbrella alliance encompassing it and developing it further. So I will not mention all our steps. It is just highlights what we did achieve already during our journey. We started alliance, and we still 3 old partners together. In 2021, we became bigger 8 partners and 7 partners. We are working already nearly more than 2 years together. Really becoming very strong and very happy to receive 2 new ones to our alliance, are really very strong, dedicated partners. So, and as you see, just the last highlights that we signed our interinstitutional agreement for mobility in end of last year, and as well as memorandum of understanding we re-signed because we had it before. However, new partners came, so new memorandum of understanding signed for 10 years to go, work together, and even more. So this is what we want to do. We want to avoid critical risks, which was mentioned before. The management, high level, top level management changing, and then directions could change. So this is, we want to ensure that the dedication of partner, the institutional dedication still stays. So this is why important to have agreement for 10 years and more. And of course, what the previous speaker mentioned already about the call for alliances, we resubmitted already our STAR-CU proposal, and we hope to get news on June 30th. I will say a bit later about it. So, and we are moving forward, we're going forward, and we're aiming establish and develop. We actually started establishment, but now developing European University, STARS European University, and we are seeking to create new students generation, which will be future-oriented, which will have future-proof skills and knowledge, and we do it via establishing and not establishing, but like combining and making STAR-CU innovative, flexible, diverse, and challenge-based research and education systems, our ecosystem, and we want to contribute to our regional transition, twin transition, green and digital, and all this should make really impact in our regions and on European arena. I will not say what the European Commission says because we listened already what is European alliances and what we are asked for and what they do. So this is European initiative which we are happy to contribute to. So who we are, we know we are 9 very dedicated, strong partners from different corners of Europe, south, east, west, north. And we are different types of universities, which I think it's big advantage. We can learn from each other. We applied science universities. We actually research-oriented universities. And most of us are comprehensive, but we have one specialized university, it's Krakow University of Technology. And we are quite big one European university. We have nearly 150,000 students. We have 77 faculties altogether, and we have research-oriented universities from us, it's 6 of them. So what did we do these years? We actually built trust, because for all cooperation, for all networking, very important to have a trustable, reliable partners, because we can, as I said, you can come for a project and then you leave and the project is over and just some results of course stays, but not. So what is very unites us, we all from non-capital regions, which actually makes very difficult for us when we need to travel. Because if you should go to Groningen, you have to take a plane to Amsterdam and then move 2 hours up train to Groningen. If you come here, we have to fly more than 4 hours, somebody even perhaps 6 hours, I don't know, so it's quite far. However, we are facing very similar challenges. We are similar with our attachment and engagement with regions. And we are looking also, one of our, like, let's say, special directions, we are interregional European University. We are looking not only how to cooperate interinstitutionally, but how to cooperate interregionally and how to connect our regions. So what I said, we are quite similar in our societal challenges, because we all kind of not remote, I can't say that with some of us remote regions, but we are quite far from capital, and we are facing demographical changes, you know, the brain drain, the young people leaving, the Europe aging, and we are aging, I mean, our regions. Also, new situation in Europe, war started, so, and some of our partners like Krakow and Silesia quite close to the war zone. So also, we all need future competencies to become competitive on the
labor market arena. We need the entrepreneurial attitude, how to contribute to our regions. Also, industrial transition, as I said, we want to contribute to regional transition. We are looking forward to move from fossil fuel to sustainable, from linear to circular economic production, and from traditional to advanced. And sustainability, it's everywhere in the Europe, climate change, CO2 reduction, especially energy, like now it's very big issue, so energy transition and digital transformation and so on. So this is STARS-EU scope. I think you all know what it is about. Like we want to be multi and cross-disciplinary approach, using multi and cross-disciplinary approach. We have our priority areas identified, we are 7. We want to contribute to green and digital transition, and we want to be inter-regional connected. So we started already looking forward to conceptualize our multi and cross-disciplinary inter-university knowledge creation model. We want to develop innovative solutions that would be adaptive to our regions, and we're joining forces, establishing and developing our communities as research communities, as learners communities, also teachers communities. And we are looking forward to be engaged with our regional actors, not only companies, of course, companies, business, industry, but also regional governments, NGOs, and even civil society. So what we were watching in the previous speaker presentation, and I think it's quite similar what we have. We also have building blocks, how we started to create, because you can say, let's cooperate together, and how we do it, because it's like one-to-one, it's one thing, but how to make cooperation structural and sustainable, we have to have building blocks. So in this case, we established curriculum lab, which is actually taking care about educational issues. We established challenge lab, taking care about research development, and regional transition accelerator. It's all fancy words, but we now already worked, and we in our STARS-EU already quite common. So, and the regional transition accelerator, connecting our regions, connecting interregional, supporting the regional collaboration, including also stakeholders from our regions. And our main goal groups, of course, is students and life learners. We say students from 18 till 81. And researchers and teachers and regional representatives. And we want to be connected not only interregionally, not only with Europe, but also will be recognized internationally in the world. And this is our task forces, which working very hard to implement all ideas, what we think, what we decide. We have 7 STARS-EU priority areas. And today in the afternoon, all 7 thematic interest groups will meet in the groups, will discuss, will agree, will find new ways and perhaps new projects or new just joint developments or new research issues. So living space is the newest one, just arrived. They kicked off not so long time ago, but starting very good. We have energy transition led by actually our colleague from La Laguna, Benjamin, I don't know if he is here. Innovation and entrepreneurship, TIG, digital transformation, arts and creative society, circular economy, and health aging. So all these TIGs working together, and when we established them, we were thinking, okay, we want cross interdisciplinary collaboration, but first of all, everything have to be done step by step. First of all, where teams should be established itself, and then we look for possibilities, like we started already, to organizing some activities, cross-TIG activities. And actually, how to organize this cross-TIG. So we see it's on the table that all TIGs actually are very much interconnected, overlapping, or have the same teams from different perspectives. So when we hopefully the new developments will come with 7, it's not a limit, or perhaps we will merge, or perhaps we will split. We never know how it will be. So we are always saying, Vera from Braganza had very good saying. So we move fast, we fail fast, and we learn fast, and we go forward. So this is our co-creation ecosystem. As you see, all blocks is there. So governments of the STARS-EU Alliance, you will see on your left side. This is our STARS-EU Commission, consisting all presidents and rectors, vice presidents, vice rectors, meeting together, discussing and deciding on strategic issues. We see steering committee, which actually is strategic development and policy development for STARS-EU body. We meet every Thursday. Doesn't matter it's winter, summer, or it's every Thursday, holiday or not holiday. So from 10 till 12 at least, sometimes till 1, discussing how we can also improve and how we can go forward with STARS-EU. And we have these implementation blocks, policy blocks, curriculum, regional transition, accelerated challenge labs, and the working groups, thematic interest groups. And our goal now is to establish new lab, it's future lab, which will be oriented to the students, to the development of talents. And all these blocks should operate in campus. This is one thing which we didn't start yet. We just describing, designing in our heads. What is our campus, STARS-EU campus? Because it should be not only online, not only digital, but also physical. And this means shared facilities, shared research labs, shared classrooms, shared equipment, and so on. And next to that, we have expert groups, which helps our TICs, which help us to move forward. It is a group for external funding experts. So we are helping our TICs to find relevant calls or relevant initiatives where we can join. Also, we have communication group, very good communication group, which is led also by Laguna. I don't know if he's here. And we have also a very important students board, which students, I hope it's here. Are you here, students? Yeah. Oh, so we have students here from all universities coming. So, and I hope we will listen tomorrow from you what you want, what you expect from our STARS European University. And we do not have yet, but we want to establish international advisory board to get really top-level experts in this board, like 5, who can advise about not only what's going in Europe, but what's going in the world, which direction the European universities or universities should go. And I already mentioned all these blocks. Just I would like to add that STARS-EU Commission decides and they meet at least 4 times per year, and mostly, not mostly, always in the evenings, because our presidents, rectors, we have no time to daytime. So I'm very appreciate that they dedicate their evening times, like from 6 till 8, for these meetings and discussing the most important issues, also giving us some guidelines and advices how we should move. And we are very pleased to announce that we already started establishing and established already in some universities STARS-EU offices. It's kind of one door for you, for all participants, as well for somebody who is interested in your university to come and to ask what's going on, how can I contribute, or how can be involved. And if you have idea what you want to do, you are very welcome. Please come to us and please share it. And we find you very good partners to develop it. And joint cooperation structures, we will meet today in afternoon. We have 14 rooms booked for each group to meet, to discuss. And tomorrow we come all together and we are listening you what actually you want from STARS-EU Commission and from steering committee, what you need from us to support you on your way of development. And the student board, I already mentioned, we are very pleased that students are here with us, and we also will discuss and we say how they see. It's actually their voice should be the loudest one, what they need from this European University, how they see this European University. And this is my pleasure to present achievements, what we already did. As I mentioned, the co-creation environment blocks already here, and this third international STARS-EU conference shows already that we are moving forward, because we're all building together this co-creation environment. Cooperation structures, expert teams, which I mentioned, knowledge creating teams are there and working. Did piloted already challenge-based educational curriculum model, and it was pilot, and then later was model implemented. They got students on board, which was very impressive. And we made joint projects. We started to increase mobility just as a students, as a staff. This agreement which we signed actually was kind of good kick. And blended intensive programs, it's very short programs and very useful. We already have quite a few of them. And as I mentioned, STARS-EU offices in the partner universities, the main office in Hansa University. And I'm very thankful to the La Laguna, University La Laguna team for communication issues. We have fully operated starsdu.org. Please go there, please check and see a lot of new developments there. So we are very happy we have already STARS-EU seen in the digital world. So this is joint project, which I mentioned. There are a few of them approved, some of them already going to be finished. And we have now 2 new submitted, one of them from La Laguna. So it's very nice to see joint developments. And I believe it's many more to come because it's just idea comes out and projects going on. So I'm not gonna mention all of them, but thank you all who are developing and implementing them. And this is blended intensive programs. This is a big thanks goes to Polytechnic University of Braganza, because Luis was the initiator who started all this to move. And now we have like 8 of them leading by IPB, and we have 1 leading by Hansa University. So, and I think this is moving forward because it's quite easy to organize, and that's very interesting to quickly implement. And now it's the most important, future actions. So we have ambitious 4-year plan, which we described in the proposal, which we submitted to the European Commission call for European universities. This is, I just put I think the most, highlighting the most important ones, what we want to reach. Talking about the call, there was 2 topics for call. One topic was for existing universities. Second topic was for new universities. And the budget was like 350 million for first topic and like less than 40 million for second topic. So I'm very glad that we made the good decision to go for topic 1, existing university, because we saw from the presentation we really exist for many years already. And to the topic 1 was submitted 26 proposals. European Commission expected 24 because 24 alliances exist. So we only 2 newcomers, it's STARS-EU and 1 more, I don't know who it is. So now it means that we have very little competition. We just need the 2 alliances or 2 alliances would fail. So when we in, but this is, you never know how it goes. Just for your information, topic 2, there was 39 proposals just for 40 million. So it's like 3 alliances max will be funded. So which is, I think choice was good. Just now we have to expect the best result that the Commission will see in our proposal with good value. So what we want to do, as I mentioned, we want future lab for deep tech and other talents to develop them, to help them to develop their talents further. Interregional collaboration, today our RTA, Regional Transition Accelerator, will discuss about Interreg Europe projects. So I hope it will be not 1 but 2 prepared and submitted. The call is over in June 2nd. So I think it's very good projects to help our regional actors involved, to help them to discuss, share their knowledge, share their policies, and look forward how we can learn from each other and how we connect. Also, of course, STARS-EU micro-credentials, also bachelor degrees, also master degrees. We started very seriously analyze the PhD possibility for STARS-EU. We have many universities who already provided PhD, who not. So we're discussing already, and I think today in afternoon we present our presidents, our outcomes. Also, one of our ambitious goals to establish STARS-EU Technology Transition Office. Yes, it is, I think, very important thing if you want to really realize your research solutions, research results. So this is on our list. Of course, joint events, conferences, seminars, workshops, we have a complete schedule of it with different topics and so on. Very ambitious program, Reach for the Stars. So it's very ambitious title, but it means only to increase staff and students' mobility, which is already going on. I mentioned that we signed interinstitutional agreement for 8 partners because Albania is still not in the pool, but we all applied for them to get some money that we could travel and join us together. And of course, Stars EU campus. This is one of ambitious goals, but I believe that we started already to make some inventory, so I think it will also be implemented. And of course, joint solutions agenda. This is very important, and our challenge lab working hard on it. And other ambitious goal to establish multi-stakeholder partnerships. It is kind of living labs where all parts of from our institutions, also from regions, come together in different priority areas, as we have 7 of them, to establish at least 1 in each priority area, and some of them perhaps even double. And what is the most important is continuous, sustainable interinstitutional collaboration, building our STARS EU, European University. And they have upcoming events. We have with TIC seminars, I think most of you know, every month we have different TIC seminar, and now in April 4 will be a seminar on healthy aging TIC, and Karin sits here, she will lead this seminar. Thank you a lot, Challenge Lab and Gunnar organizing them. And we have a staff week will be organized in Karvina in April, so we will come, not all, the dedicated administrative people coming to meet in 4 groups and discuss and learn from each other. And also we are very happy that Bremen University hosts our staff week in autumn on digital issues. And thank you very much to Samir and to Franche-Comté University hosting us next spring on March 21, 22. So I really would like to thank you all who collaborated, who created, who did so much work, dedicated your time after even additional next to your work. Also, I would like to encourage and invite everybody to join us on our way and come with new ideas and share your knowledge. So thank you all very much. So this was my last slide, and I would like to applaud to you.
Well, thank you very much, Rima. Now it's time for our musicians to take the floor. I know it's been a long morning already. You can go ahead. Yeah. Come. Yeah. They are very shy people. So it's been a very interesting morning so far. And but before we go for lunch, we wanted to give you at least a small flavor of our folk music from Canary Island. This is actually a very nice blend of classical instruments and folk instruments in a group called Entre Cuerdas, which roughly translated among strings. They will be performing 3 pieces. I have to confess that I choose 2 of them because they are some of my favorite ones. But I hope you will like it. 2 of them will be with voice, and the third one will be instrumental. I think I make let me just ask in Spanish. Primero vas a tocar Gran Canaria, ¿verdad? Yes. Después Nube de Hielo y Tenerife. Yeah, I was just confirming the order of the songs because there was some debate. The first one will be with voice, and I make a kind of rough translation to English. And this first one is devoted to our sister island, Gran Canaria. It's the only other island in the archipelago, including a public university. This one is a little bit younger, has been there for 40 years, but since the 2 islands has been always together for a long time, and there are of course some rivalry, especially in football matches and all these things, but all in all, in higher education we work in close collaboration. It's a very nice song. and I hope you will enjoy.
Saber que te llevo en el costado clavada, no has de leerme la mano a devastar mi palabra, mas si la quieres leer, verás tan solo en sus rayas los caminos de una isla que se llama Gran Canaria, caminos que me conducen sombreados de esperanza, roques que no se nublan y a piedras enamoradas de dialogar con las cimas de sueños que no se alcanzan, mas yo aprecio sobre todo tus descartes de baraja, los rincones que conversan, el trapecio con pestañas del faro que da sus vueltas, ágil de luz y de alma, para saber que te llevo en el costado clavada, no has de leerme la mano a devastar mi palabra, mas si la quieres leer, verás tan solo en sus rayas los caminos de una isla que se llama Gran Canaria. Todo se irá y volverá, todo puede ser mañana, el mar, las islas y el viento, la sed, la angustia y el alba. Ya desde aquí en adelante me seguirás en la marcha para saber que te llevo en el costado clavada, has de leerme la mano a devastar mi palabra, así la quieres leer, verás tan solo en sus rayas los caminos de una isla que se llama Gran Canaria, que se llama Gran Canaria, que se llama Gran Canaria, que se llama Gran Canaria.
Thank you very much. Before going for the next song, which is my favorite, I will ask them to introduce themselves one by one. Okay? Let's start with the violins. Please, can you... Perdona. Me gustaría que os presentarais y dijerais vuestro nombre.
Javi. Micro. Javier Alonso.
Javi.
Antonio.
Antonioni.
Antonino.
It's a Portuguese name, actually.
Elena.
Elena.
Sergio.
Sergio al timple.
Emilio.
Emilio.
Ignacio.
Nacho. Thank you very much. As you see, they are a nice blend between classical instruments, violins and the flute, and 2 guitars, which are also very popular here in Spain, as you know. And si puedes mostrar el timple. The timple is a very popular instrument in the Spanish folklore, especially in the Canarian folklore. It's like a small guitar. You might find some resemblances with some instruments from Europe, like a balalaika or some Greek instruments, but it is quite a special. Thank you, gracias. It's quite a special sound, and I was putting some emphasis on this instrument because he's the main character in the next song. As I told you, the next song will be in the instrumental version, but I put there the lyrics that are sometimes played alongside the music, and they speak a little bit about a man. This is a mature man who has already left Tenerife or Gran Canaria. You might choose the island. Of course, for us, it's Tenerife. And he's has a little bit of a homesickness and Heimweh, as they say in German. It's a nice word. It's the pain from not being at home. And he's like dreaming of his former childhood and youth. A little bit of this in search of the lost time of this French writer, Marcel Proust. And instead of remembering the houses and everything, he just remembered ice cloud, nube de hielo, he said in Spanish. It is most of this picture we have of our big Teide with the clouds surrounding him. They are, of course, all white, and this is like a piece of ice, and he's like drawing the piece of ice in a piece of paper, and because he's remembering Tenerife, the ice, this ice cloud is something that is very close to his heart, and it's, of course, since he's away from home, he's feeling a little bit homesick, but you will see the music of the timple is wonderful. Go ahead. I hope you agree that the special sound of the timple plays a perfect role in the remind us of this kind of a mature man trying to remember and come back to his childhood. That's a wonderful performance. And last but not least, of course, the new song is Tenerife, the last song. This song has an interesting history because it was written not by someone born here in Tenerife, but someone born in Gran Canaria. Because back in the day, everyone has to come, everyone who want to have a degree has to come to Tenerife because we are the only university. And of course, many people from Gran Canaria, which is the second most populated island, come here. And in this case, it tells the story of someone who has seen Tenerife from afar, from the other island, during a lot of time, and has fell in love from the Teide and the Tenerife. And as he said, you can see there, he's kind of a father, a sentinel of these 7 caravels, anchored around him and looking for shelter and care. That's a very nice song. The composer is called, it's a singer and composer named Braulio. He's also very popular here. And he was studying here in Tenerife. And then you will see from the second part that he had a very good time as a student. They say something about wine shots and drank with love and wine. And he was also, of course, a very good guitar player. And he reminds also of, remembers the time when he was, it's a very nice word, serenateando is called here. It's like singing to the moon, which is normally something you do when you want to get some lady or some man to fall in love with you. Then you go with the guitar and you play to the moon, and hopefully you will like it. I hope you will like this song, which is a kind of an official anthem from our island. It's a very beautiful one, and please go ahead.
Yo nací del otro lado de este mar nuestro cansado que te besa con pereza. Y desde allí en la distancia hay una arrogancia de tus perfiles airados. Entre brumas emergía la rotunda poesía del padre Teide nevado, el celoso centinela de 7 carreras que junto a él han fondeado, buscando abrigo y cuidado. Tenerife, Tenerife, desde Teno hasta Ganana, desde Amona a Carachico, fue naciendo en la distancia, acopada de nostalgia, la canción que hoy te dedico. ¿Cuántas veces mi guitarra se perdió por la laguna? serenateando a tu luna. Cuántas veces la alborada sorprendió nuestro camino, ebrios de amor y de vino. Cuántas perritas de vino. Tenerife, qué añoranza, cuando pienso en los amores que oculté yo en tu esperanza. Cuántas veces mi guitarra se perdió por la laguna, serenateando a tu luna. Cuántas veces la alborada sorprendió nuestro camino, ebrios de amor y de vino. Cuántas perritas de vino. Tenerife, qué añoranza, cuando pienso en los amores que oculté yo en tu esperanza.
Thank you very much, Entre Cuerdas. It was wonderful to have you here and wonderful performance. Thank you. Okay, guys, so we are almost there. A little bit of two more announcements. First of all, I would like to take a family picture in the stairs before going to the other campus. So please don't go right to the buses because we have still some time. And second one, I would like to ask to each of the head of the delegation, of each of the partners, please, if you can get assured that everyone in your delegation go right to the buses, it will be nice. So because we are not sure exactly finally how many of you could make it, and we don't want to get anyone behind. Okay, I mean it's actually quite close, but we don't want any of you taking the tram on our behalf. Yeah, and just Esther, kindly remind me in case any of you is missing some sunglasses, we have them. Okay. So please, I'll see you in the stairs, and then we will go to the buses to the other campus. Thank you very much.